Yeah, it's the Almanac, a rap show. I got opinions and they all factual. No news, just information that you won't be able to use unless you're at a dinner party trying to impress who's in attendance with endless tidbits of nonsense. We're gonna have a good time, I promise. YouTube rabbit holes, Reddit deep dives, pulling out old interviews from the archives. Styles, fads, trends, all of that. It's the Almanac of Rap.
All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Almanac of Rap. I'm your host, Donwill, and today's guest is one of my favorite people to interview. He's one of the most prolific artists working today, and his dedication to the craft of emceeing is refreshing. Ladies and gentlemen, Homeboy Sandman.
What up?
What's good, man?
Down chilling, man. Everything good.
Yeah, man. How you feeling?
I feel good. Having a great day. God is great.
I want to get right into it, man. Let's just get right to it.
I'm happy to be here rocking with you. You have an illustrious interviewing, career that you've built over a long time. I'm happy to be sitting with you. It's been a while.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we sat down for my other show. It was the Book of Rhymes. Shouts to my guy, classic material.
Yeah, with Los.
Los, man.
That
Los.
was years ago.
Los, Mika, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word up.
Whole little gang. Mm-hmm. But I don't think, this is a question I don't think we covered back then. Maybe we did, I don't remember. But I want to ask you about your name, Homeboy Sandman.
Right.
Are there any aliases? Like, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, I come up with the name Homeboy Sandman because me and my boys, I had three of my homeboys, my closest homeboys were Dwight, Desmond, and Dariel when I was a kid.
DDD.
DDD, yeah. We called ourselves the Quadrant, like a squadron of four. We rolled, those are my dudes, And we'd always think of nicknames. Like I remember we had dog tags with different nicknames. And we was doing this before Wu-Tang. You remember Wu-Tang came out with the aliases and then everybody wanted to have aliases. We was actually doing that before Wu-Tang. Not that Wu-Tang took it from us, but we ain't take it from them.
Yeah.
So I always used to go think about like, Teddy English was one of them, I remember Buck Batista was one of them, and my boy Dez was DNA. Like, we all had we had like 5, 6 different names, and I was always thinking of them. But then I come up on this Homeboy Sandman one day, I just thought of it, and it resonated with me to like a new degree.
Right.
So I was like, that's the one. But initially it was like, as far as rhymes, the Sandman bring you your dreams. People think it's the Sandman put you to sleep, but that's not. That's a misconception. The Sandman bring you your dreams. You can be daydreaming as a Sandman.
It is.
Yeah.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Bring you a dream. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as far as rhymes, I could put I could have so much detail going on. It's like I'm bringing you to that world. You know what I mean? And Homeboy's like, that's my people. This is my friend.
Yeah.
But however, just my fault.
I like this answer, man. I like it.
But a lot of times when I'm rhyming, I don't really know what the rhyme even means until like sometimes years later. You know what I mean? I just know that it's the right one. But now I realize that Homeboy Sandman is about my journey to becoming me and becoming myself because I start off in my home as a boy. You know what I'm saying? I start off and I don't really know, and I'm very much identifying with whatever is to identify with right around me, but then I get to through travels, like sand, sand in the time.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also like footprints in the sand. So it's not only time, but it's like the journey. I become a man, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Homeboy Sandman, and that's what it really means.
Yeah, that's a hard ass answer, man. Like your name is it's a fun to say name. Like in my phone I have Boy Sand, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta change to Sandman, just Sandman, because you're not a boy, you know what I'm saying? And that explanation, I'm like, but what other names do people call you, like, as like nicknames?
I like Boy Sand a lot.
Boy Sand, people call you Sandy?
Yeah, people call me Sandy, people call me Sand. Some people even seem like when they write, they call me Sand, S-A-N, you know what I mean?
Sand,
But people call me Angel, you know what I'm saying?
Sand is without, though, right? Like Sanskrit?
Oh, right, yeah. Sands. Is that with an S or just with an N?
Well, it is with an S, you're right.
But it's close.
All right, so we can talk about that for hours because we can talk about anything for hours. But I did a quick audit of your social media and researching this interview. And aside from a few fan pages, you are mostly offline. Do you feel any pressure to be active on social media at all?
No.
Never? None? You don't like okay, my next question with that, you said no. I'll let you explain it, yeah.
I mean, just pressure from what?
I don't know. Pressure from like people like, yo, did you see that meme? Like there's a meme. The meme right now. I'll tell you what's happening on social media. There's a meme right now where everyone's in love with a baby hippo.
Okay.
It was a newborn hippo, and literally it has the world in a chokehold. Motherfuckers
Really?
are just like, oh, the baby hippo. It's the timeline cleanse. It's refreshing us.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest shit in the world.
A baby hippo.
It's a baby hippo.
Okay.
So what's the last meme that has penetrated the Sandman bubble?
When I was online, the meme was the crying Jordan meme.
Oh, shit.
That's
You gotta get this iOS update.
that's how
Wait,
far I go back.
maybe I should just start. Now I'm not gonna start texting you memes because then you're like, okay, this is.
Cats go to try to text me the internet all day. Yo, people they used to send me Instagram links. But
Yeah.
I'm not on it. I don't have Instagram, so I can't really watch that. But now word got out about that, so people screenshot the internet and send it to me on WhatsApp.
It's like people are trolling you, man.
Yeah, they're trying to get me. They're trying to get me in there, you know?
Well, I mean, like I would honestly advise you. I don't gotta advise you, but because you're doing it right, stay off the internet. I mean, you're like, unless it's for the art or for the sake of like promoting something, stay off. But a lot of times that gets tangled up in being online. Like you might go on to like update some info about a show, and all of a sudden you're looking at baby hippo pictures.
Oh yeah, because I was on it. I was on it from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah.
So my first my first record dropped in 2007. So I went 9 years and I held out. But then
Yeah.
I keep getting sweated. All right, fine. And for a while I was with it, you know, this helped spread the word. But I definitely got sucked into the vortex, like 100%, you know, so.
So with you being offline so much, it gives you a lot of free time. What do you do besides scrolling socials? Like, what are you doing?
I write a lot of rhymes, man.
You write a lot
I
of
write
rhymes.
rhymes all the time, you know? Like, I record many days a week. You know, I would say I'm recording songs every week, and I write and I love to read.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Okay, so you love to read.
Yeah, generally I live a pretty simple life. You know, I do some reading, I do some exercise. You know what I'm saying? Then I do some writing. All throughout the time, I'm doing writing. Then a little bit of reading, maybe a little bit more exercise, eating some good food. And then at night, my wife and I, we like to watch a movie. You know what I'm saying? I probably watch like 5 movies a week. And then, you know, we like to go. I love to take walks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those are my activities,
Man,
pretty much.
I love the way you live. It's intentional, it's simple, but it's not simple in a bad way. It's more simple and like scaled down. Like you care a lot about what you intake.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with that, you said you like to read books. What book are you reading now? Can you recommend me a book?
Yeah. Well, I just started. Well, the last book I read was one of my favorite books. It was called The Master and the Emissary. It was about the 2 different brain hemispheres. I forget the name of the cat that wrote it, but I just finished that a couple of days ago. What's the name of the brother who wrote it? I can't remember. But that is tied for my favorite book of all time with Women Who Run with the Wolves, which was written by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, which had held on to the best book, my favorite book, for years and years and years until I read The Master and the Emissary the other day.
The women Who Run with Wolves has been popping up in my periphery for like the last month. Like I've seen it. I've seen the title. I've seen the book. Heard people talking about it. Like this is confirmation that I probably need to read that book.
It's amazing.
What's it about?
Um,
Is it about a woman raised by wolves?
I mean, it's about myths and fables and folklore and legends and stories, but what they really say about life and what they say about the psyche and what they, right now, one of the books I'm reading right now is the biography, even though I don't read a lot of biographies, it's the first one I read in many years, of Joseph Campbell, but I love Joseph Campbell, who wrote The Power of Myth.
Okay.
But anyway, I bring it all up because it's about stories, but then it breaks down important life lessons. And for you, I would say if you're gonna read it, like the first 3-4 chapters, because it's a thick book, it's very rich.
Yeah,
I would say you might have to just, machete your way through some vines for a little while, but it's worth it. But that's the only book. As soon as I finished the last page, I started from the beginning, read twice in a row again, and read the footnotes, because there's heat in the footnotes.
The footnotes go crazy. Footnotes go crazy.
Definite.
So, all right, are you excited about Ta-Nehisi Coates' new book coming out? Are you gonna check that out?
I'm not up on it.
Okay, I forget what it's called, but he's on a press run about it.
Yeah, okay.
Books seems like another thing we could talk about for a long time because you clearly are well read. But I want to get back to social media and talk about your Patreon, which is where people can find you. Like if anybody asks what's up with Homeboy Sandman, I usually point them towards your Patreon. So what's been your experience in a subscription-based social media community, like building a community based on supporters?
I really love Patreon. You know what I mean? For one, like I do have pictures that I want to share, or like, you know, like we'll shoot a video and we'll have some behind the scenes stuff, or even just different things I want to share. That would be the type of thing I used to share on Instagram or share on Twitter or something like that. But the thing about it is this, like, this is my, you know, this is the Homeboy Sandman online thing. This ain't a, you know, and that doesn't, you know, like, so it's cats that rock with me to whatever degree or understand or know, like, you know, my music is very much an introduction to me and who I am. So it's cats that have an understanding. So we have conversations on there. We don't gotta agree. Lots of times we have mad disagreement. I'll be sharing with people things I won't even share in this interview. Unless you ask straight out, then I'll share.
You gotta subscribe. You gotta subscribe to get that interview. Subscribe to the Patreon.
But the Patreon I love the Patreon. You know, especially because I record so much.
Yeah, you do.
I got more, easily. I mean, I might have 3-4 times as many unreleased songs as I have songs. And I've been putting out, you know, however many years.
Your discography is deep. So to have have double that amount unreleased?
Yeah, I got more than double. And I get to share with the patrons, because it's like, they're trusted, you know, they putting down they monthly subscription. Not only the support it make a major difference. Like, you know, it's helpful in life. I kicked around, you know, thank you to the fans that are still with me while I'm so underground and no one bothers to update my wiki. Thank you to the patrons that drop monthly, that even without no write-ups, me and my wife are still comfy. You know what I'm saying? The Patreon is great for that. So I love Patreon. I love my, but yeah, check the Patreon out.
Check the Patreon. I went and checked it out, and I was like, oh, like, this is where his social media. This is where he's social at on. It's social, it's media, it's all the things
I would say that,
that I might throw out on Instagram or Twitter for free. You know what I'm saying?
I say that.
So yeah, Patreon, check him out there. Mm-hmm. So you've worked with some of the best labels, including Mellow Music Group and Stone's Throw. And now you founded your own label, Dirty Looks. What have you learned so far about running your own label from the past experiences?
I talked to Peanut Butter Wolf once, and I said, what advice would you give to anybody starting a label? And he would say, my advice would be, don't do it.
How did I know that was what you were going to say?
And it's a lot to it, you know what I mean? We making errors. Me is Darian. Big shout out to my boy Darian, that's my manager. You know, helps you with the physical distributor, the online distributor. You know, like my boy Luke, the art director, my boy Art with the videos, my boy Darko on the engineering. Big shout out my whole Dirty Looks team, you know? My boy Gam. You know, but we've made I just got the pre-order for Rich 2 up very recently, and the album been out for a long time.
The pre-order for physicals?
For physicals, for the vinyl. And we switched digital distributors, and there's just been a lot of, and this is with the second, you know, we learned stuff on Rich 1. We learn more stuff on Rich 2. So it appears there's still things to learn, but it's cool. It's all part of. I mean, I really like. I'm very grateful to work with the labels that I've you know that have been allies of mine, you know, in the past, you know, and I feel like without being with those labels, I wouldn't have. They really helped me gain the momentum and the reach so that I could do things on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful for that. But now that I feel like I could do things on my own. You know, it's learning curve, it's growing pains.
It's a journey. It's also like a living thing. Like figuring out how to release albums. Like, cause I've released my own stuff too, like here and there, and I went from trying to do digital only to doing vinyl, and like just that. There's a lot of things that you figure out in the watch that you try to like hold on to for next time. But with that, are there any self-release artists or artist-run labels that you look up to? Like when I think of self-releasing artists or independent labels, I think of like The Alchemist or Brownsville. I mean, not Brownsville, or Ka, because he goes by Brownsville Ka on social media. You're not on Instagram like that, so like Ka will do these like.
But I'm up on Ka though. You know what I'm saying? I'm up on jams like Ka.
I know you up on shit. But like,
I'm up on fly jams.
Yeah,
even though I might not be up on all fly jams. If you told me about some cat earlier, you said he was cooking. I forget his name, but I'll go check him out because I love that music. You know?
But yeah, like Ka he just showed like recently he put up a post showing all this vinyl he had that was coming out or that he found in storage or whatever, and I was just thinking like, man. To be able to move that much volume, be able to store that volume of vinyl and move it is crazy. And it's got to be like such a cool thing. Like, are there any artists that you see self-releasing that you kind of look up to a little bit, or like you kind of like think?
since you brought up Kai, he's definitely. I mean, I'm not even. He's making fly records though and getting the word out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that. Because I would almost. I'm not comparing, but I would almost liken him to you in the sense in that he's not really social media heavy. He's kind of mute on social media until it's time for you to listen to him. Mm-hmm. Then he just goes and lives his life, and it's fascinating. It's inspiring, motivating. Like, you know what I'm saying? All the things that I would attribute to your career, too.
Good looking out. But that seems like good usage, how he's using it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when you were shouting out your Dirty Looks team, you shouted out the art director, right?
Yeah, my boy Luke Warmth.
That's part of a question I had, is that, like, you have some incredible visuals from videos. Check out this man's video. His videography is crazy, his videos. But from videos to even flyers and cover art, like, what role does visual art play in your career?
Well, you know, my sister's a visual artist. She was always a painter.
Oh,
She was, you know, doing art since we was kids. With me, I got into ramen later on, even though I always loved ramen, but I always kind of admired it. And I knew, you know, growing up there was kids that could do graph, you know, my hand style was very whack. Like, I always admired visual art, you know what I mean? So I don't feel I have any aptitude in it, but I've been really blessed. I've been really blessed. God blesses me by just putting me, you know, my last couple of videos, the win-win video.
Yeah.
That was my boy Danny Sangra from London, and he did that and Alchemy. Was my last two videos that come out, and he had the ideas for both of those videos.
Okay.
So where it started off as, okay, I can't make this stuff myself, but I have Luke Warmth, Art Morera, you know, the zillion, you know, people who have come and helped me over the years. Now people kind of see, oh, this cat, he's trying to get real artistic with his visuals, and they'll come to me with fly ideas, which wasn't even happening. At the beginning, I had to kind of try to think outside the box and make it real. But now so many cats have kind of be like, yo, this cat is open to some unusual stuff. Let me see what I could bring to him. You know what I mean? So Danny brought me some incredible. So it's really gathered momentum now. But it's all based in, like, you know, my art. You know, I feel it's you know, very unique. You know what I mean? Very distinct. You know, and I want the visuals to match. You know?
Yeah, they do. Like the last video I saw from you was the one with Amani Fela.
Amani, yeah. That was win-win.
Okay, that's win-win. Yeah. Like I'm no bullshit, man. Sometimes I just go and watch like maybe 5 or 6 year videos in a row, and I have to stop there because it literally would just be like 2 hours worth of my time.
Oh, yeah.
But it's almost like it's as fun watching your videos as it is listening to your music, and a lot of times, the image makes this indelible connection to the song. So it's just a fun journey that I would recommend anybody checking out the show check out.
Good looking out, Don.
All right. So, moving on to something else. A while back, Doja Cat shouted you out and said that you were one of her favorite rappers. My question is, how did it feel to know that she was tapped into what you were doing?
That felt great. It was fantastic. You know, I love whenever anybody's checking for me. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing. I got to give her mad props because there's mad people that more people know than me that are listening to what I do all the time. All I'm saying is, big shout to her, because she was, you know, shining some light, you know what I'm saying? Which really speaks a lot to her character, you know what I mean? And her confidence and how she get down, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, like she's great.
And
lyrically great, yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't really up on her, and I did, you know, it's not like I had preconceived notions about her in particular, but I just am weary of what's getting a lot of push a lot of the time. But then I went and checked her out and I said, oh, she got bars. And I wasn't surprised, obviously.
Yeah, Doja was one of those ones, man, like I caught on to her when she did the, I don't know how familiar you are with her discography, but
Well, I've went and checked it out. I don't know the names of the jams, but she definitely got some heaters that I know.
Like the one that popped was one, like a joke song she made called I'm a Cow or whatever, which was like a silly sing-song. And that was the one where people kind of was like, what is this? And it started her bubbling up. But she leveraged that and then made a couple of pop jams that kind of like, you know, were big on radio. But the whole time, leveraged that to just make rap. Like her last album is incredible rap music. I'm a big Doja Cat fan. So it was nice to see her give you a shout because it's like, oh yeah, they do pay attention to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that felt like a win for everybody. It felt like a win-win, if you will. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, and I think one of the things that made her really tap in is that you're really good at turning everyday things and kind of like, I won't say mundane, but like the overlooked topics into just these great songs. My question to you is, how do you turn this kind of like everyday subject stuff into a compelling song? What attracts you to like uncovered subjects like that?
I mean, I don't. It's not completely conscious or anything. It's not like I'm always out there being like, yo, what haven't I rapped about yet, or what haven't other people rapped about yet, to try to.
Yeah.
However, I do consciously know that it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. For me, it's embarrassing.
What's embarrassing?
It's embarrassing to be part of a genre that can't break away from 3-4 things. I'm embarrassed.
Okay.
People. Like, I was at a comedy show the other day. You know how cats snap? They go to snap.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous because he was asking people, "What's your job?"
Yeah.
And if I'd have told him I was a rapper, he'd have thought all stupid things about me. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't ask me. He did get at, and he was, because we were close to the front, but he didn't ask me about that, so I was just relieved. And he was funny. He was good. But it's embarrassing to even to get a question as an artist of like, you straying from the 4 or 5 things. Where's that come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to take what I experience and channel it into art, and that is infinite amount of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it comes from there organically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the art. Like I feel like everything you've talked about in this interview and everything I know about you, like you kind of just live the art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, try to.
You're like a funnel. You're like a sieve. You're like a receiver, and it comes through you and it comes onto the page, and everything you put down is always worth listening to.
Good looking out, fam. Appreciate that, man.
So last question, you're about to hit the road for the Wild Rich 2 tour.
Yeah.
My question is, do you enjoy touring? You seem
You-
like a homebody type of cat.
I'm definitely, I love coming back home. I love coming back home. And even when you asked, you know, like there was a little tone of like, do you enjoy touring? Because you know,
I know
that on the road, you know, it's just a lot of, you know, it's not, there can be discomfort and the back-to-backness of things. But I love rocking shows. So me, when I'm shot, and you know me, I be trying to eat certain ways, so I be trying to, I've been to every Whole Foods in this country, babe. I can only got Whole Foods in other countries, you know what I'm saying? But even when I'm like, oh, D, you know, and I'm getting tired of my tourmates who I love, but we've been next to each other the whole time, you know what I'm saying?
That's another thing, the dynamic of the tour.
Oh yeah, I think there's a whole, you could be with your best friend in the whole world, you know what I'm saying?
Shouts to Vaughn.
You know, and the proximity, you know what I'm saying, just breathe. But when I get up on stage, I always, even if I'm tired, I get alert. And even if I co-drove, you know, 10 hours from the city before because we got an offer and we had to drive 10 hours before the show, you know what I'm saying? When I get up there, I'll be like, but this is a blessing to be up here, you know what I mean? Like, to get to transmit this way. So I do love very much being on the road, you know what I mean? I wouldn't at all mind a whole bunch of other luxuries, you know, like I wouldn't mind, you know, but I love being on the road.
Now I know exactly what you're saying. Like the road it's a special sort of thing. And a lot of times, once you're out there, you gotta like, well for me anyway, I'm just remembering the last time I was out there, I had to hold on to the memory of not being on the road to just enjoy being on the road, because the 30 minutes to an hour you're on stage versus the 23 hours you're not, it's a lot to deal with. But
I hear you.
Good luck. Where are you going?
Wild Rich tour is gonna be in California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Texas, Idaho, Montana.
I got hyped for a second.
Yeah, I'm like, but earlier this year I think was I in Cincy? Yeah, big shout to Cincy. I rocked Cincy pretty recently. It was either this year or last year. Yeah. And I love Cincy. I love Columbus too.
Columbus is fun.
Yeah. Like I have a lot of fun in Ohio, at Cleveland, obviously. But I may be forgetting a state or two, and there's multiple cities within each of those states. But if you go to the Patreon.
The Patreon.
Patreon.com/Homeboy Sandman. The flyer is up there. Or if you just put homeboysandman.com into the thing, I think it redirects to the Patreon.
Yeah, and we're gonna link your Patreon in the metadata of this thing.
Good looking.
But I'm gonna let you get ready for tour and let you get up out of here, man. Homeboy Sandman.
Thanks so much for having me, Don.
Yeah,
I
thank you
appreciate
so much.
a great deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Almanac, a rap show. I got opinions and they all factual. No news, just information that you won't be able to use unless you're at a dinner party trying to impress who's in attendance with endless tidbits of nonsense. We're gonna have a good time, I promise. YouTube rabbit holes, Reddit deep dives, pulling out old interviews from the archive. Styles, fads, trends, all of that. It's the Almanac of rap.